what things do you do in the wintertime that you may not do in the summertime?
Well, one of the first things that anybody listening out there should do is make sure that your garden hoses are not attached to your outside faucets. You will freeze your piping, it'll split, it'll crack, it'll flood your basement and cost you thousands of dollars in cleanup, not to mention the headaches.
Yeah, I've seen it. And the funny thing about that is you may not know for 3, 4, 5 days, because when the pipe is freezing, right, or the spigot is freezing, it's actually like a self-sealing problem.
It's frozen. The water's frozen and it's plugged.
You might think that you got nice, solid pipes, but in fact they're cracked. It's just that they're not going to show themselves to you until they start to melt.
That's right. And you may be at work all day, and that pipe is spraying water all over your basement for hours.
And it can be a serious mess. And that's just something that I know that people know to do, but hopefully this will be a reminder for them to go out and do it today. I mean, it's not a house inspector that has to go out right now, look at your spigot. As a matter of fact, I need to go. I need to go home. No. Okay, so that's a big deal. What else?
Sure. A couple other things. Easy to save yourself a lot of money is pop your attic hatch, usually in your hallway. Get a ladder, poke your head up there with a flashlight, and take a look at the level or the thickness of your insulation. If you can see the top of your 2x4 framing for your living room ceiling, your bedroom ceilings, you don't have enough insulation.
So those are our factors we're talking with.
That's correct. In the St. Louis area, you want between 8 and 12 inches of fiberglass insulation, whether that's bats that has craft paper on it sometimes, or whether it's blown in, but you want about 8 to 12 inches worth of insulation. Yeah. If you take care of it yourself, a normal house is around $500 worth of material. The different hardware stores will rent you or give you the machine if you buy the insulation from them. Professional installer and insulation contractor for a typical house might be $800 or $1,000 to insulate your house properly.
But it's a big deal. It's an important thing. You know, people do weird things in their attics, right? And we saw a house a couple weeks ago, and they basically cut the trusses.
They did. They put in a whole house fan.
In a whole house.
And they cut the roof trusses.
You know, I love house fans. I mean, I think they're awesome. They really can help save money winter and summer. But if you cut a structural part of your roof in order to put one in, that's kind of dumb.
They were really off base there.
Yeah, that was dumb. And you know, people go up and stomp around on their batting, on their insulation, and they don't realize that compressing it actually destroys its thermal function.
That's right. Destroys the R value. And if you do insulate your attic correctly, it will pay for itself in less than a year. That's 100% return.
Right.
Where can you get that kind of return on your money?
And it's a fairly simple thing. Again, pop your head up into your attic and have a look at it. It can really have a big impact. What else do we do in the wintertime that we don't normally or don't usually do in the summertime?
Well, with all the snowstorms the last couple of days, people are out throwing lots of salt on their sidewalks, their patios, and their concrete. And what that does is weaken the surface of the concrete. And in the summertime, as the temperatures change, it'll start to spall.
You see a little pitting in your concrete.
You see a little pitting, little rocks start popping out, and then that lets more water and more salt down in the concrete, and it's a perpetuating problem. It's better to use calcium chloride or just use your shovel, clean your walks, clean your patio, and let the sun melt the rest of the ice and the snow if you can. Salt is very tough on concrete.
So minimize salt as much as possible.
You bet.